Right now, as you're watching, something extraordinary is unfolding billions of kilometers above us. The interstellar visitor known as 3I/ATLAS, or 3I Atlas, is approaching its closest point to the Sun, perihelion. And what we're observing is unlike anything in human history. This isn't a comet in the ordinary sense. It's not an asteroid either. 3I Atlas is moving through space with a speed, a signature, a structure that defies all our standard models. And astronomers around the world are scrambling to interpret what it's telling us. When 3I Atlas was first reported in July 2025 by the Atlas survey in Chile, nobody knew the storm it would trigger. Its orbit was hyperbolic. Instead of looping around the sun like known bodies, it was clearly on a one-way pass, a visitor from beyond. Its velocity, measured by multiple observatories, peaked at more than 210,000 kilometers per hour. That made it, by far, the fastest interstellar object ever tracked even among its few peers. Like Oumuamua and Borisov, 3I Atlas stood out as something deeply alien. From the very first observations, scientists raised eyebrows. The way it reflected light didn't match any known comet or asteroid. Its brightness was too stable, too controlled, as if its surface was engineered to maintain a uniform reflection under the harsh glare of solar radiation. Telescopes trained on 3I Atlas quickly picked up its coma, the diffuse cloud of gas and dust around the object, and found something shocking. Analysis showed the coma was dominated by carbon dioxide, nearly 87%, with 9% carbon monoxide, and only 4% water. No comet in the known solar system has that composition. Most comets are rich in water ice, yet 3I Atlas seemed almost bone dry. And yet, through the powerful infrared eyes of the James Webb Space Telescope, it glowed warmly, as if it carried an internal heat source. Even more disturbing was an enormous envelope of CO2 surrounding the object, roughly 350,000 kilometers in diameter. That's larger than Jupiter inside that haze. Spectroscopic data revealed traces of hydrogen cyanide and, perhaps most puzzling, a high ratio of nickel with almost no iron. Those chemical proportions set off alarms in some circles. Industrial ratios, some whispered, metal ratios that could be produced artificially. The thought, what if this isn't a natural wanderer, but something deliberately built? As 3I Atlas drew closer to the Sun, the Hubble Space Telescope recorded a phenomenon no one had expected, a bright anti-tail pointing toward the Sun. Usually, cometary tails extend away, pushed by solar wind, but here was a stream of material going the opposite way. Then, abruptly, that anti-tail reversed. Within days, it transformed into a normal tail. Observatories from Hawaii to Spain confirmed the reversal, and the symmetry of the change made many scientists wonder if this was some form of controlled propulsion. During perihelion, when the object was closest to the Sun, the solar environment grew fierce. A massive coronal mass ejection struck its path, a storm powerful enough to shred typical cometary bodies. But 3I Atlas barely reacted. Instead of fragmenting, it continued intact. Its surface temperature rose, then plateaued. It seemed to absorb, regulate, and stabilize, as though designed to endure extremes that would destroy any natural comet. Observational data suggested an elongated shape, perhaps a 10-to-1 aspect ratio, reminiscent of Oumuamua. But unlike that similarly stretched visitor, 3I Atlas did not spin erratically. Its brightness and reflection remained steady, as though its orientation was being controlled. Even more bewildering was its polarization signature. It displayed a negative polarization that is not found in typical solar system objects. The way light scattered off its surface was more structured, more nuanced, more intentional. One astrophysicist at Harvard, Avibay Loeb, proposed a bold classification. On his Loeb scale of extraterrestrial probability, 3I Atlas ranked as Category 4. Technological, non-natural, he estimated a 40% chance the object was artificial. A controversial claim, but as anomalies mounted, his hypothesis gained traction. Meanwhile, other scientists remained cautious. Could all these anomalies be coincidences, statistical flukes, natural processes we simply don't yet understand? The debate split the community, but everyone agreed something profound was happening. As the object rounded perihelion, physicists watched for a maneuver known as the Oberth effect, a trick spacecraft used to gain speed by firing near a massive gravity source. If 3I Atlas accelerated beyond what solar gravity alone could explain, it would imply active propulsion, perhaps even control. The stakes were high. If this were a machine, could it be headed for something more sinister? Or was it a probe, a message in motion? In response, NASA covertly activated its planetary defense network. Officially, the campaign was a training exercise. Unofficially, it was full alert. Dozens of telescopes worldwide, radio dishes, optical observatories, space-based platforms were coordinated to watch, to listen, to track. Every piece of data was being scrutinized with extraordinary care, but public communication remained muted. Then the first radio signal arrived, faint, structured, a repeating pattern, 3 pulses, then a pause, cycling every 247 seconds. Initially dismissed as noise, interference, or instrumental artifact, until independent teams in Chile, Italy, and South Africa reported the same pulse train. The signal was steady, stable. It didn't flicker randomly, didn't drift with solar wind interference. When scientists modeled it, they found phase coherence, a hallmark of something intentional, not random. What's more, a leak from within the SETI community revealed that buried in the signal were harmonics within the hydrogen line, the universal frequency many believe extraterrestrials might use for communication. If that leak was real, and many scientists now believe it was, it meant someone or something knew how to use the cosmic standard. They might have been saying, "We know how to speak your language." Simultaneously, the James Webb Telescope observed another bizarre pattern. The polarization of light reflecting off the surface of 3I Atlas varied in precise, alternating planes. Even more intriguing, the rhythm of that variation matched the timing of the radio pulses. In parallel, ground telescopes recorded a startling change in its tail. Not just one stream, but 2, crossing each other at nearly a right angle, forming a perfect X. That geometry is not something that appears by accident in natural outgassing. Theorists immediately leapt forward. What if the tail wasn't just a tail, but a signaler, like a lighthouse or a coded beam, using gas jets, outflow, and geometry to sculpt a message in space? That same week, as 3I Atlas moved, its path began to align with the orbital planes of the outer planets: Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. The alignment was uncanny, choreographed, resonant. The timing matched planetary orbital frequencies. Then came the event that stunned observers. A flash of ultraviolet light, lasting 2.8 seconds. It was directional, powerful enough to ionize solar wind near the object. And when its vector was traced, it pointed precisely toward a star field between Vega and Lyra, the very region connected in our imaginations to the infamous WOW signal of 1977. Suddenly, everything went silent. The radio pulses stopped, the tail emission faded, the ultraviolet beacon blinked out. For the first time since discovery, 3I Atlas appeared to go completely dark. NASA announced it was optically lost. No light, no heat, no reflection, nothing. Observatories around the globe repositioned, recalibrated, replayed data, and still, the sky held nothing at its last known coordinates. But deep in the raw data archive of the Webb telescope, scientists found a fragment, the final few milliseconds before the ultraviolet flare died, and in that fragment was a fingerprint, a modulation in the light itself, a hidden structure. When they reconstructed that signal, the waveform revealed a fascinating geometry. Spirals, a double helix, interlocking lattice patterns, not random noise, but structured, resonant encoding, as though someone had etched a design into the energy itself. In reviewing the data, Dr. Avibe Loeb called it a cosmic signature of intent. This wasn't just a message, it was a blueprint, a resonant code meant not to be read with words, but felt with the universe. Independent research teams built quantum resonance simulators to reproduce the waveform. As they ran the cycles, a harmonic grew stronger, building in amplitude. The simulation seemed to feed on itself, as though the code interacted with fundamental spacetime. Then, without warning, the simulation inverted. It collapsed. But before shutdown, the AI translation module, designed to interpret mathematical symmetries, produced a phrase in English. "We remember you." The moment reverberated across the research community. Papers circulated, whispers spread. But by the next morning, most public records of that phrase were scrubbed. NASA publicly claimed no message had ever been received. Yet behind closed doors, scientists were stunned and divided. Some argued this was a greeting, a bridge. Others warned it was the activation of a system, not a message to contact, but a beacon you didn't want to provoke. In the weeks following, observatories reported a faint echo of the same harmonic code, but this time, it was no longer coming from distant space. It seemed to originate from within our own solar system. The echo was subtle, but unmistakable to those who knew what to look for. The pattern matched the earlier waveform exactly, as though something nearby had received the transmission and answered. Skeptics dismissed it as solar interference, a strange loop in the heliosphere. But a small core of researchers believed more, that a response had come not from afar, but from among us. The philosophical implications were staggering. What if intelligence is not just the domain of distant civilizations, but woven into the resonance of the cosmos, into light, geometry, and the vibrations of space-time itself? Perhaps 3i Atlas didn't arrive to spy or to threaten. Perhaps it came to awaken us, to remind us that we are not alone, not just in bodies and brains, but in the very fabric of existence. Was it a warning, a call, a cosmic greeting? We don't yet know. But what is emerging is a new possibility. Intelligence expressed not through words, but through harmonic architecture, through the language of the universe. For the first time, we are asking, should we respond? Should we build transmitters that can reproduce its resonance? Can we match its harmony? Or is it wiser to listen, to learn, and to wait? Some scientists are already proposing new missions: resonance beacon satellites, sample return intercept craft, even quantum-encoded probes that can mimic its form. But others caution, if we answer, who speaks for Earth? The ethical weight is immense. A message like this, if real, could unite or divide humanity. It could inspire wonder or terror. It could trigger a cosmic partnership or a cosmic arms race. Yet, despite our fears, many of us feel something deeper. A profound hope that this isn't the first whisper of another civilization, but a reminder that intelligence resides not just out there, but within, in light, in geometry, in the harmony that binds us all. The universe is speaking. Will we answer? And now, months after 3i Atlas disappeared from our sight, the implications are only beginning to sink in. Every piece of data, every anomaly, every pulse and flash has left an imprint on our understanding of what intelligence, life, and purpose could look like in the cosmos. Researchers are combing through terabytes of archival data from every space observatory, seeking patterns they may have overlooked, signals that may have been misclassified as noise. Every frame, every spectrum, every photon is being analyzed with the new understanding that the universe might be trying to speak in a language we are only now beginning to perceive. Some of the most advanced simulations suggest that the harmonics encoded in 3i Atlas's final emissions could interact with the natural resonances of planets, moons, and even the sun itself. The idea is that the object might have left behind a network of information embedded in gravitational waves, magnetic fields, and light itself, waiting for us to detect and interpret it. The leading theory among a small but growing group of scientists is that these interstellar probes are part of a system, a way to seed knowledge, to observe, and perhaps to catalyze development across civilizations. This theory challenges every assumption about life, about civilization, and about the nature of intelligence. In laboratories from Cambridge to Tokyo, physicists are running experiments to recreate the conditions implied by the waveform. They use interferometers, laser arrays, and quantum resonators to see if they can reproduce the harmonic interactions. Some experiments have produced subtle fluctuations in localized electromagnetic fields, enough to suggest that 3i Atlas's emissions were far more than just signals. They were instructions encoded in physics itself. Astronomers have also begun to reconsider older observations. Patterns in past interstellar objects, dismissed as natural oddities, are being re-examined. Could Oumuamua, with its strange acceleration and elongated shape, have been part of a similar system of interstellar probes? Could Boros have left behind signals we never detected? The scientific community is opening its mind to possibilities once considered fringe. Meanwhile, the faint echoes detected within our solar system have not diminished. Even without visual confirmation, the harmonic pattern persists, subtly interacting with Earth's magnetic field instruments that once measured only background noise now record anomalies that correspond with the frequencies of the original signal. The implications for humanity are staggering. If these echoes are indeed a response, the question arises: response to what? Are we being tested, observed, or merely greeted? And if intelligence can exist not just in life forms, but in structures of energy and resonance, then our understanding of consciousness and communication must expand beyond the biological. Philosophers, ethicists, and theologians have joined the conversation. The very concept of meaning is being questioned. What does it mean to be recognized by a presence older than our solar system? What responsibilities do we bear if we have, even unknowingly, engaged with intelligence on a cosmic scale? Governments and space agencies are moving cautiously. Classified initiatives are reportedly underway to explore the harmonic echoes. Teams of mathematicians, quantum physicists, and engineers work in secrecy to decode the resonance and perhaps replicate it. There are debates about whether any human-made transmission could safely interact with these harmonics without unforeseen consequences. Some predict that an accidental interference with these resonances could be catastrophic, disrupting the delicate balance of planetary and solar energy fields. Others see opportunity, the chance to unlock technologies far beyond current human capabilities, including energy generation, propulsion, and communication at interstellar scales. Publicly, the story remains muted, constrained to scientific journals and select media outlets. Yet, the sense of awe, fear, and curiosity spreads quietly through academic and amateur astronomy communities. The notion that we might have been acknowledged by an interstellar intelligence inspires both wonder and existential anxiety. Space missions in development are increasingly designed with these findings in mind. Future telescopes may include quantum sensors capable of detecting ultrafine harmonic shifts. Deep space probes may carry resonance-emitting devices to interact with these enigmatic signals. Every mission is now potentially both exploratory and communicative, bridging observation with participation. Meanwhile, the psychological impact on the scientists involved is profound. Many report sleepless nights, visions of harmonics mapped as spirals and helixes in the mind, and a sense of connection to something vast and intelligent beyond comprehension. The scientific method, as rigorous as it is now interwoven with questions that border on metaphysics. Even education is affected. Physics and astronomy courses increasingly discuss interstellar objects not only as celestial phenomena, but as potential agents of communication. Curricula in universities are evolving to consider intelligence in forms that defy biology, reflecting the paradigm shift 3I Atlas has forced upon human thought. The echoes themselves continue to behave unpredictably, yet with discernible patterns. Occasionally, bursts align with Earth's orbital resonance, subtly fluctuating in ways that hint at an intelligent calibration. Researchers are divided over whether this is an attempt at interaction or simply the natural propagation of energy through the solar system. Some of the most daring theorists have proposed experimental responses, modulated laser beams, low-frequency gravitational waves, or even synchronized satellite arrays designed to emit harmonic patterns back into space. These proposals are controversial, balancing between hope and caution, curiosity and fear. Despite the secrecy surrounding these projects, leaks suggest that some experiments have produced minor but reproducible effects. Tiny phase shifts in electromagnetic fields, minute alterations in the resonance of vacuum energy, and subtle changes in the ionosphere. These are faint signals, but they suggest that the universe is responsive to harmonic stimuli in ways never anticipated. Cultural impact is beginning to emerge. Artists, musicians, and writers are drawing inspiration from the spirals and helixes of the waveform, translating the interstellar language into compositions and visual art. Entire exhibitions are being planned, blending science with imagination, allowing the public to experience echoes of the cosmos. Social media and independent science platforms are buzzing with speculation. While governments remain silent, forums of enthusiasts, amateur astronomers, and code breakers share theories, attempting to reverse engineer patterns, correlate frequencies, and predict the next echo. The sense of global participation in a cosmic conversation is palpable. At the same time, international cooperation among space agencies is unprecedented. Joint task forces of ESA, NASA, JAXA, and other agencies are coordinating in secret to analyze the harmonic signatures. The collaboration spans continents, combining the brightest minds in physics, computer science, and signal processing. Meanwhile, a small but vocal group of skeptics warns against overinterpretation. They argue that we are seeing patterns where none exist, influenced by wishful thinking and cultural desire for cosmic significance. They remind the public that natural phenomena can mimic intelligence in ways that appear meaningful. Yet, even skeptics admit that 3I Atlas and its echoes are unlike anything observed before. Its behaviors, emissions, and resonance patterns defy conventional astrophysics. The debate has shifted from whether it is extraordinary to how to responsibly engage with it. Some scientists have proposed that 3i Atlas could be part of a network of interstellar probes, a mechanism by which a civilization communicates across light years using harmonic resonance instead of radio waves, physical matter instead of language. This idea reframes the search for extraterrestrial intelligence entirely. Researchers are now exploring the possibility that these interstellar probes operate on principles of physics that humans are only beginning to understand. Quantum resonance, harmonic coupling, and energy patterning could be used to encode vast amounts of information, allowing communication across space without traditional signals. The echo's intermittent appearance fuels a new theory, that the probes are monitoring intelligent activity on planets, responding when civilizations reach a certain technological or cognitive threshold. Could Earth's detection of 3i Atlas signify that humanity has crossed such a threshold? Meanwhile, experimental physicists are designing instruments capable of simulating the encoded frequencies, hoping to provoke a response or at least understand the underlying physics. Early results suggest subtle interactions with magnetic and gravitational fields, small, measurable effects that confirm the original harmonics were more than accidental. These discoveries are pushing humanity to redefine intelligence, consciousness, and communication. If resonances can carry meaning across light years, then the universe itself becomes a medium for information, interaction, and perhaps even mentorship. The implications for artificial intelligence are profound as well. AI systems are now being designed to interpret harmonic information, detect patterns invisible to humans, and model interactions on scales that challenge imagination. Machines may soon be the intermediaries between humanity and interstellar intelligence. Meanwhile, deep in Antarctica and Siberia, observatories equipped with superconducting sensors are monitoring for the faintest fluctuations in the cosmic background, seeking residual energy patterns left by the 3i Atlas transmissions. Every anomaly, no matter how small, could contain clues. As the months pass, public awareness grows slowly. Popular science programs, documentaries, and online channels cautiously discuss the findings without revealing sensitive data. The world is fascinated but largely unaware of the full magnitude of what has occurred. In universities, student research programs now include harmonic resonance detection, planetary alignment analysis, and interstellar signal modeling. Young scientists are entering the field inspired by the possibilities of interstellar communication beyond electromagnetic waves. At the same time, philosophical and ethical discussions expand into government policy. Should humanity attempt to respond? Could misinterpretation lead to unintended consequences? Are we ready for contact of a form that is not literal, not textual, but encoded in the very structure of reality? Even the most skeptical theorists concede that the evidence of intentionality cannot be ignored. The combination of velocity, hyperbolic trajectory, chemical anomalies, anti-tail behavior, controlled deceleration, and harmonic emission forms a pattern that natural phenomena struggle to replicate convincingly. The echoes themselves have become a guiding enigma. They appear, they fluctuate, and they interact with solar system elements in ways that suggest an intelligence operating on a level we are only beginning to perceive. Amid this tension, a small consortium of scientists proposes a daring idea: to attempt to construct a harmonic mirror in space, a resonant lattice that could amplify the signal and test the response. The risks are immense, but the potential knowledge is greater than anything previously imaginable. Simulations suggest that successful interaction could yield insights into advanced propulsion, energy manipulation, and interstellar communication technologies. Failure could, however, disrupt local magnetic fields or introduce unforeseen energetic feedback. Humanity stands at a crossroads. The choice is no longer merely about observing the cosmos, but about engaging with it in a profound, responsible, and unprecedented way. Every action, every experiment, is weighed against the unknown intentions of a presence that has already proven far more advanced than ourselves. For now, the world waits. Telescopes remain trained, algorithms scan ceaselessly, and researchers debate feverishly. Every anomaly, every pulse, every echo carries potential meaning. The universe has spoken, and the question remains: will we rise to the challenge of responding wisely? And as we watch, listen, and calculate, one truth is undeniable: 3i Atlas has changed everything. Humanity has been confronted with the possibility that intelligence is not confined to life forms, not bound by planets, but woven into the very fabric of space, time, and resonance. We may never fully understand the motives behind its journey or the depths of its messages, but the awakening it has provoked is irreversible. The cosmos is alive with communication, and the call is clear: to observe, to interpret, and ultimately to participate in a conversation older than our species. The story of Three Eye Atlas is far from over. Each echo, each harmonic fluctuation, each resonance in the cosmic fabric is a thread in a narrative that stretches across light years, linking humanity with a mystery that defies comprehension. And so, as our instruments listen and our minds expand, we prepare to learn, to engage, to awaken to a universe far richer, stranger, and more intelligent than we ever imagined. The echoes of Three Eye Atlas are not just signals. They are an invitation, a summons to participate in the grand symphony of the cosmos.